Well, the cold weather is here. You can see the frost on the ground right here. It's quite a heavy frost. And it's 10 o'clock, so this frost is still here. And it's got the angel trumpets. I'm glad I showed them to you when they were in their beautiful state, because now they're limping. This is how they look after a heavy frost. It is a beautiful, beautiful fall day. It's October 3rd. I'm out here in the yard a little bit waiting for the grandbabies. It's time for them to get here. And I have been working on my apples. I've been in there working on my apples, making my apple pie filling. I'll share a little bit of that with you. Just been doing a little bit of producing or putting up a lot of things that I got a hold of this at this time of the year, that I go ahead and put up and add to the pantry and add to the freezer and just different things. But I'm out here today just looking around, enjoying this beautiful day. The sun's shining, but it's cold. It's cold today. Looking at everything. Me and David got out here yesterday and swept some of these stepping stones off. We got this little pile of pine needles here and this little pile right here, and I got tickled because my little grandson, he wanted to jump in this pile of pine needles. Not very big, but I thought that was sweet. He said, "Grammy, we're going to get a big pile and we're going to jump in them." I do not have that many leaves. I've got a little redbud tree over here in the back, you can see. And then there's just pine trees right here on this side of the house. So there's not a lot of leaves, not a lot for them to rake up and jump in. But I thought it was sweet that he wanted to do that. I've still got to get out here. Much work. Have not done it. Me and Donald's trying to do that Saturday, but some things have come up that we might not even be able to get out here this Saturday. Everything is looking like fall. Got to put a few things in the ground. I wanted to plant these sedums. I wanted to get them in the ground so that next year they'll be bigger and they'll have more color and be more beautiful. I've still got to rake up all those passion flowers. All those passion fruits that I didn't make use of. I want to rake them up, because everywhere these are, those seeds will come out and be all over my garden. And I don't need this many out here. The squirrels have been eating a few, as you can see right there. Some munched on ones the squirrels have been eating. I did get out here and sweep the driveway. Donald likes to blow it, use the leaf blower and blow it off, but I swept it yesterday and it's back on again. The pine trees are dropping their needles. The white pines that we had right there for privacy. And of course they have lost some branches over here. These white pines have, and when they lose their lower branches, they never regrow them. That's the thing about a white pine. We didn't keep these trimmed closely, but we're still glad they're here. They still offer a lot of privacy. They're a guard that keeps neighbors that don't respect boundaries out of your property. I'm a firm believer that good fences make good neighbors, especially in a tight little neighborhood like we have here. Well, I'm just out here waiting on the kiddos to get here. I had to water the mums. They got real dry. And then my fig tree, I've got it out here. I've been soaking it, and I'm ready to plant that when Donald is able to plant it. I can't dig a hole that big. That's a 3-gallon bucket. That would take me quite a while to dig a hole that size. My arm is still, my shoulder, I still deal with that impingement. It's not as painful as it was, but it was still very stiff and not, it's atrophied some. I do not have the strength in it that I once had. So I'm dealing with that. But I do what I can, and I'm trying to get it back every day, working on it every day. I've got Ollie in the house because he has been wanting to run away. He's been wanting to get out of the fence and run away. So he's inside, and he will be the cause for one of our projects this weekend. The kitties are sitting here just looking at him. They're not sure what he's doing in the house. So far, he hasn't bothered the kitties, and I hope he doesn't. He does not want to come up the steps. He does not like to walk anywhere where there's not carpet. That's why he's whining. It's because I came up here and he doesn't want to come up the steps. He sees the cats sitting here and he's like, I want to go wherever they're at. I want to be with y'all. I don't know if I can get him to come up or not. I am still working on my apple pie filling. I got this apple pie filling here. I'm going to can it today. I've got some turnips I'm going to cook up today. And we're going to have some for dinner, and I'm going to freeze some. And I still have jalapeno peppers here that I'm probably going to wash them up and freeze them. This is some of the beautiful apple pie filling that I'll be able to put into the pantry, and that'll make some delicious fried apple pies. I've got plenty of fresh apples. I'm going to cut some up and try to make a fresh apple cake today. I've kind of just had a relaxing day. I've kind of just not rushed or done anything this morning. It was really cold, and I just had my thick, cozy socks on and made something warm and delicious to drink. And I just enjoyed the morning this morning, talked to people that I love. I made a lot of phone calls and done that kind of work this morning. So I'm kind of behind. I'm going to show you a clip here of how I made the apple pie filling. Just simple, nothing fancy, very easy to do. And then I'll share with you my big old bounty of greens. And I blanched those and froze them. So I was able to get those put up for the winter. We'll be able to eat them all winter long. Good nutrients in those. So that's just some things I'll share with you in today's video. Put my peeled apples in here. I kept out half of the water of this pot that I've covered the apples in, and I mixed in 1/4 of a cup of clear gel right here. I mixed in 1/4 of a cup of clear gel to each quart, which was about 4 quarts of water that's in here. And then I combined that good in the cold water, and then I poured it over my apples, and now I'm heating my apples, and I'm going to boil these for about 10 minutes. I added about a tablespoon of cinnamon and 1/4 of a teaspoon of ground cloves. And that's all I'm adding to this pie filling. Now I'm going to can it. I'm going to can it like this. I'm going to fill up my hot jars, and I'm going to water bath it for about 20 minutes. And that's what I'm going to do and to make apple pie filling so that I'll have it when I make my homemade apple pies. This is probably about, I'm going to say about 14 pints that this big pot right here will make. It'll probably make about 14 pints. And then that'll be one of the recipes that I'll use to make, that I'll use up my apples for, and that we'll use over the year. The next year, I'll make my fried apple pies with this pie filling. I have gone really light with the spices here. I've not put in too much spice. I left out the nutmeg because nutmeg to me is a little bit strong. So this is, you'll get mostly an apple taste when you eat this pie filling. It won't be overloaded with a lot of spices, But you can certainly spice it up more if you like more spices. If you like nutmeg and you like cinnamon, then you can certainly add as much as you want to get the flavor you want. I tasted this, and it tastes mainly like apples with just a mild flavor of cinnamon and a little bit of clove. I didn't want it to be too spicy. You can always add more, but if you put in too much, it's hard to take it out, so you can't take it out. So I err on the side of it being mild. I wanted good apple flavor. These apples are really good. And so I didn't use too many spices. But if you like a lot of spices, then feel free to add as much as you like. Now this is simmered, and I'm going to go ahead and add it to the jars. I decided to go ahead and make these pints because I never really use that much. I would never probably use a quart to make pie filling for my fried pies. I usually just use about a pint when I make them. So I am putting them in these pint jars instead of quarts. I'm just going to go ahead and fill these pints up with this piping hot pie filling. This funnel certainly helps with that. Now this pie filling will continue to cook a little bit when I put it through the processing time in the water bath. But these apples should have enough acid in them that a water bath will be fine. Now once I get these jars filled up, this one's a little short. I'll have to put a little bit more in it. I try to fill it to about a 1/2 inch. Fruit, I fill it to about a 1/2 inch head space. Alright, that looks like it'll work. And then once I get this good and filled up, I'll just wipe the rim of each jar with a hot, clean, wet cloth. I'll just go around each jar. And I just do 7 jars at a time because that's what my canner will do. And I'll go ahead and just hand tighten the lids on each one of these. It'll take 2 hands to do that. So I'll tighten them when I put them in the water bath canner. And under here I have the peelings. The peelings are in this glass bowl. And I've got water poured over them to start the vinegar making process. That's what I'll be doing with the peelings. Well, I'm in my bathroom. I wanted to share something with you. Now, I'm not going to change the shower curtain. That's not what I'm in the bathroom for. As you know, if you've watched my channel, I'm from the south central part of the Appalachians. And this is a staple that we would eat in Appalachia, and is also a staple in the South. Now, I've got mine in here in a little different atmosphere because I don't have room to clean all this stuff in my kitchen sink. So this is what I do. I sterilize my bathtub and clean it really, really good. And then I bring the harvested greens. These are turnip greens. There might be some other kinds, might be some mustard and some other kinds mixed in here, but I think the majority of them are turnip greens. Now you'll see these eaten in the Appalachians, and you'll also see them eaten in the South. Now over here are the turnips that were harvested, and I have a friend that she says, y'all eat things that we don't eat. We just eat the turnips. We don't eat the greens. And she's from the North. Well, we eat the turnips and the greens. Now, I'm going to have to go through all these greens and pick out the parts that, you know, that you don't want to eat. And then I'm going to wash them. Luckily, I've got this sprayer here. And I'll just turn on the cold water and just wash all these up. I'll have to wash them several times. Make sure they're good and clean. And then I'm going to blanch them and freeze them. And, you know, if you're familiar with being in the South and with Appalachians, eating greens are part of our prosperity meal. We eat greens, black-eyed peas, cornbread, and that's our prosperity meal. And these greens, you know, if I blanch them and put them in freezer bags and freeze them, they'll be perfect to cook up in January when we eat that prosperity meal. Well, I just wanted to share that with y'all today, share with you some of the things that we do that add nutrients and add things to our diet that maybe is not as common in some areas as they are other areas. I don't know if you've tried turnip greens or mixed greens before. If you have, let me know. If you love them, then let me know that too. And if you've never tried them, then maybe you'll be open up to they've got wonderful, wonderful nutrients in them. I've got those few little turnips. I'm going to clean them up. I'll probably cook them up. You cook them kind of like potatoes. Thank you for letting me share this with you. Well, the kids are here and they're going to be taking up some time. So I'm going to go ahead and sign off and take care of business around here. I look forward to talking to you next time. So just join me here the next time, like always. Until next time.